Hello. So it is mid-March and it's still repotting time. So what we have in front of us is an elm species. It's probably Procera. This comes from mainland Europe. That was the source from the nursery that I sourced it from in the UK. Hello, this is Leela, by the way, again. Come on, Leela. Leela wants to say hello. She's the bonsai cat. She's complaining because she's not getting any attention. Say hello, Leela. Here she is. I do help her, ask her for advice and help. So it is probably Procera, or it could be minor. The reason why I say it is not minor is because it actually has quite furry leaves. So I have got some other elms which can be considered English, and they don't have very furry leaves. This one is quite furry, and they are slightly larger. So that's why I think it probably isn't minor. This one is quite a lovely large trunk as well, and if we have a look, it's very fissured bark, so it's developing some very good characteristics. As with obviously it's collected, as with all collected, it doesn't have an outstanding nabari, but that's the sort of price you pay. And obviously elms are very often collected, especially from hedgerows. Obviously Dutch elm devastated the larger tree population, but there are lots of elms that sucker out from the original roots. So this is probably from a hedge. That's certainly where some of the almost minor English elms have come from that I've got in my collection. I fell in love with this one because of the trunk and the fissured bark, and also obviously it has got some movement to it. So it is very broad at the base. It's obviously got, see, that could be the front. You can see it is broad there. It has got some taper to it, but you're always going to have less taper for these sort of trees. You can see where it's been cut off originally. It has got a new leader, apex, which I've been developing. So I've had this tree, I didn't say that, I've had this tree 4 years, so it hardly have any branching to it. So all the branching you've seen has been developed since. It has got quite an unusual apex as well. So obviously it's had some carving. Well, I did the carving because it was a cut off stump, but I did developing the apex. So if you look around this side, the tree is bowing this way, and the apex is leaning that way. So that is probably going to be the front, but it does work quite nicely there, except the apex is facing away. Obviously it was a large cut in the past. I've had to shape that. I did that last year, and you can see it's starting to callus over quite well. I have to give it a little bit of encouragement. It's got a lot of cork into it as well. It does obviously need a prune. You can see I did prune it down during the last growing season, but it does need some thinning and maybe a little bit of wiring. There's definitely some smaller branches to come out, but the corking's quite pronounced on it. So what I'm going to do, I am going to repot it and prune it back, but it's coming on well. It is developing well. I do like that bark, that's why I fell in love with it. I love it, the way it flows round. It's pretty super. I have got a larger elm than this in my collection, which I've had for 10-12 years. That is again taller. It's probably another 40% taller. and it's got a really good branch structure that's developed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this out of the pot, have a look at the roots, start to tidy it up a bit, and then prepare the new part. I've got two options. They're very dull brown, but that's all I've got at the moment. I just need it out of this because it is starting to look slightly presentable. And then let's see where that takes us. Hello, so I've got it out of the pot and I've started cleaning the surface away. Roots are really good, really fibrous, which is what you should expect really. What's quite interesting, obviously I've just taken the gravel off and gone down some of the layers, and you can see there is some roots coming across here, so they might have been from the original sort of feeder roots and stuff, so because they are quite large. I'd say there are 3 there. That one's crossing, so it's going to have to come off. I haven't really found anything this side. I've been digging away. I'm trying to be careful around the base anyway, because some of the bark is loose where it's been damp. So there's a smaller root there. Not really found much here. So although there might be something there, or it could be flare at the base maybe. But I'll carry on working. There was here, you can see I've taken stuff here. There were some suckers which I've taken out because they were annoying me over the last few years anyway. I will carry on working away on it and see what else I find. I'm starting underneath and on the sides now, because I need to reduce the root down. 1, to get a new part, and 2, obviously to give it growth. It needs to grow. It's not going to grow if I don't cut some of the roots back. But I can take quite a bit off it because they are very vigorous, and it is a very fibrous root mass. There's a lot of solid root in here, so I'm going to carry on doing that and I'll come back later. Okay, so I have taken quite a thick layer of root off. I've even used the reciprocal saw. It's still got tons of root. I've now just tried a couple of pots, and then this is the only one that is large enough. I will take some more of the root off there, but it's going to go in this pot. It's probably okay, but it's the only choice I've got if I don't want to put it back in the plastic. So that's what's going to happen. That bark is very loose. I might have to glue that. It's obviously lost some bark there during the process, but I have found there's like a whole section of shrunk there, which is typical with elms again. They tend to form platforms like that. So I'm going to sort this pot out. I'm going to sort the roots out a bit more, and it's going in here roughly in that position, and we'll I'll show you the final outcome of it, of the repot. But I do need to prune it, but probably not going to do that now. I'm going to do that later on in the next couple of days. There we go. Here we go. So it's repot, repositioned. I have started pruning it. So I've taken off some forward facing branches here, trimmed back. So what I'm doing is clearing this trunk area here. I've taken off 2 branches that are here, although this one's going to be wired into this position here. But I have literally just started to tidy this aspect, so it's the front, so you can see got the width there, trunk's going away, and then it's coming forward. The apex is leaning forward, so it's bowing. So you can automatically see where there's some weakness, which is here. So it's got to be something to do going on with the back branches there. This one developing that space, but it's not perfect. But I think with some encouragement over the next few years, it will develop a lot better. There's still lots to take out, lots to shape, a bit of wire to put on, but it is developing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it water and then let it rest just for a couple of days, and then going back in. But I need to do it really quickly because you can see it is bursting out. So it is right on the cusp, really. That's a really bad one there, it's got to come out. So there we go. I suppose that's part one. Hello. So it's the next day. I have been pruning and doing a little bit of wiring. So I've thinned out this area quite a bit. This is the side view, by the way. I have taken quite a lot of the branches down. I've just put a bit of wire on here. I've got to put a bit of wire on here, and I've taken that back. I've taken all the ends right back. I've just thinned out this area. Probably going to thin it out a little bit more. Certainly thinned out the top. I'm just going to thin a bit more of it out, but you can start to see the structure there. With the lean apex, you can see it is opened out. I've taken a lot of growth there. There's still more to take because there's things that are crossing over, and there's areas fighting for dominance. So some have got to be taken down to make sure I've got the true sort of apex area there. That will come back in a bit. This branch here has been taken back. It's probably going to go somewhere here. This one come down a bit. This one at the back is coming down and just around a little bit here to start filling out this back space. Obviously this one's going to fill out this space here. That one's going to fill out the next layer. That one, a bit unsure, but it's probably going to go in that space there, but thinned out a little bit more. So it's coming on well. So this is going towards the front. You can see all that space is clear at the front there. I'm just going to show you in the barry. You can see where I uncovered these big roots. So there's 3 big ones. There's a smaller one developing there. There's this smaller one developing here. There's that sort of part of the trunk base there. It will be tidied up over the next few years. But I did take a lot of root off, probably 50%. Little bit scruffy here. I don't know what this root is doing. It'll probably go on the next one. There's a little bit of a nodule there, but it's got more root now than it did have. But we'll see how it develops. Yeah, it's looking better. Still more to do. But as I sort of control it more, the branch structure, it will get a lot better. So need to do a bit of wiring there. You can see these bits that I've taken out. I've taken that pile out so far. So it's coming on, not too much more to do, and then it'll be ready to go back out on the benches. Some nice weather over the next few days. And we'll let it recover and calm down.